But can I be sure that when they are no longer under my roof, they will still use what I'm forcing them to go to leave the house soon, to go to school? If you never knew the reason why he has to 2 acres in the central region in May 2018, challenges started. One after the other, delays in documentation. Finally, the owners of the land wanted more money. At that point, I lost interest and requested for my money. That one too was one story to another. The ups and downs were too wearisome. I decided I was tired and took it to God. I located Psalm 24, the word of God. It said, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. I meditated on this word for long, and I lost count of how many times I declared the statement big. And pray for them. The word can be used by children, can be used by anybody. The word. Because I stumbled on that truth that time and I shared it with them. I said, the word meditate is not only to keep quiet and be thinking. The earth is the Lord's. Just one scripture brought 60-year-old land that some people should have land that people, you even see the one you pay for, they will give you. How much more somebody keeping a land for you 60 years? Say the rightful now will come. And they have not sold the land. That's not normal in this part of the world. The one you even sold, you bought, you are not getting it. One more time, you are welcome. I have my family there. I think her name. Pastor Mrs. Apia. We showcase those 2 books today. I'm sure you have them here. And these copies. To see them get better. I want to believe God is also passionate about them. And my very good friend, to allow for questions. Some of these things are not allowable in our churches. Yet people have questions. And so where would they ask? And so people carry the question all over the old places and get frustrated. I believe those who became atheists, some of them, is because of unanswered questions. Yes, sir. You say God is love. If God is love, how do we have all manner of problems around? And nobody can answer it. And so they just sleep. The original meaning, Hebrew meaning of that word means live on, to revive, to be quickened from sickness, from discouragement, from faintness, from death, to preserve alive, to let live, to give life, to quicken, to restore, to cause to grow, to revive. Does this look? This is the Hebrew meaning that was translated. This God has words for each of those areas. Scripture, we know that place. He said, but it shall not depart. We know it all. But I quickly ask you, has it not departed from the mouth? It is somebody will go about and say, I've done everything, God is not answering. No, I also tell you, I haven't done what he said you to do. He said, it should not depart out of your mouth. To observe, to do all that is in it. And you will make your way prosperous and have good success. And we are all looking for these two in life. Prosperity of our soul, of our pocket, or whatever, and successes. And Proverbs 4:20-22. This question is, do we give attention? You see, many of us who have gone to school, who have seated under lecturers in those days, you know, and then you have a handout, and you want to do a test. And your teacher said, pay attention to page 456 for my test. And there are 100 pages. So for this text, pay attention to 4, 5, 6. Let's say last year, about a year ago, that God started showing me this one. And she read pharmacy. So I said, I understand the other meaning of meditation now. It means to say, pick that word like medicine, like pick a word. And so the one she picked was, by his stripe I'm healed. It's not the one, he said, take the word the way it is. I said, say it 500 times. You know, the thing just came to me, so I was crazy. By reason of things that are happening around us. Let me ask somebody is laughing there. Yeah, just reminded me of something. Just said this kidnapping that we are talking about in town. My child. Said, you know, if the devil will just suggest something, so this kidnapping was done, and I have my child in school, I don't know how, you know, Sister Adelita at the back there. I said, have they kidnapped your brother? Did the kidnapper send you letter that they are not to kidnap your brother? That's a typical example of what I'm talking about. Some fear will just come, will come to fear of unknown. It will just come. It can be that bad for where it's, that's why I say it builds up gradually. Okay. Some of us have experienced this. Give me some examples. Give me some examples. Give me personal examples. Yes. Fear of failure. Like failure in some things.
In the best way. Because that sense of this thing I'm going to do, it won't work. I'm calling a meeting, they won't come. So I won't even call it at all. I'm going to write an exam. I'm not prepared. I will fail. So how do you go to the exam? The lecturer should rather put accents that give me zero, which you have not even written the exam. So fear of failure.
Fear of failure. Now, how many of us have those things has crossed mind before? These are real. They are reality. Even after you are born again, after you are a believer, still come. Am I going to be able to? Will this thing work? And especially if you have heard some stories. Maybe your lecturer said nobody passes this exam beyond C. It doesn't matter what you do. It comes out of something like, you share some examples. Fear of yes.
Remaining lonely for life. Especially if you've heard maybe a prophet came to your house. I'm talking from experience. And they said maybe the girl child in your house, all the girl children, they would not marry. Or even if they marry, they won't stay in their husband's house. So those kind of things. Yes. Or that you're under a spell, especially if you've had 1 or 2 or 3 bad relationships. You know, that kind of thing. Yes.
So my examples.
Fear of losing your job. Let me just say, with what is going on, that went on earlier this year, the banks, what the government was doing. I'm sure some people who were in it had that fear of
leave you today, you know, because you don't know where God is planning your life. If it is Nigeria, that is different. You can go by road.
I have a very good example for that. There's a friend of mine, she lives in America. And then when she had babies, she begged the mother to come. The mother had never gone because she can't just enter into the plane. So because of that, she's been in America for about 10 years now, and the mother has not gone there to visit her just because she can't enter the plane.
Imagine, from a personal experience, growing up, I had that fear of not having a baby on time. Yeah, I see people go through delays in childbearing. No medical reason, but at the time after marriage, I saw it materialize. Yes, that we had to wait for 4 years for no just reason. The baby, the pregnancy came, the fear of losing it comes. Within 1 week, the bad news will come. So those are the effects. Those are just the effects.
It's funny, my greatest fear was hitting 40.
Eating 40 years, which you will eat, and then you will cross.
When he was approaching it, I was like, this
Wow.
it really bothered me. I'll wake up, I'll go like, how did he feel? It's normal. I said, so why am I feeling this? I said, oh, don't worry, that by the time when I cross it, I'll not even remember. But seriously, I was really afraid turning 40.
60, you have 1 more year to active work, and then you don't know what will happen when you leave the place.
The phobia experience to go to Nigeria was so bad that I had to travel to Germany, and they said the plane will transit in Nigeria. So we have to do 45 minutes to Nigeria, then we cross. I don't know when the plane touched Nigeria and when we left. It looked like I blanked out. When we picked up from Kotoka, after 15 minutes, I just went off for almost an hour till they taxied, they boarded, and then it was in the air before I opened my eyes and I was like, where are we? They said, no, we've left Nigeria. And it went on for years. It was after, I'm talking as a Christian, as a pastor's wife, I had to have an experience which now pushed me to come back to Nigeria myself. I had to go there. I said, let me face this fear, whatever it is that is preventing me from not going. So that's a practical experience.
The profession where I find myself, it's a place where you if you're not careful, you can easily get infected. So that fear of getting infected in the course of your job also is there. I also had an experience where a colleague had a prick and he had to go for his medications. After he was given an excuse, he resigned because he was afraid. He doesn't want to come back to work and get another prick. Get infected.
There is no medical reason. That's a torment. And needed to travel, somebody is a torment. I can't travel to US. It's a torment. There's no other torment that those self torment you can't place on anything. It's not that you have flown before the aircraft has dropped. For no reason, it's just tormenting. 1 John 4:8. How much you will pray. You see, because it doesn't respond. I told you earlier on, demons don't respond to prayer. They don't. So no matter how it's going to be, if he doesn't know how to deal with it, issues. Anita, if she doesn't deal with that, they said their scholarship in America, it's only America where it comes. It's a symptom of your faith in God, whether you have faith in God in that area or not. And it's a reflection of how, you can see that. Perfect love cast out, the word cast means to throw away forcefully. And what is this perfect love? Now let's look at these 4 possibilities of God and how He created the universe and how He created us. Let's ask, it could be the first. The second one, a one where anything allow you. If you do wrong, it's okay. If you do right, it's okay. And the moral one, just live like that. Just be like that. You jump light, you are fine. You stay behind the light, you are fine. Anything is fine. A world where God enforces only His will. That, some people are asking for this. Why can't God just make me not to do that thing? Have we heard it before? Yeah. Why will God just allow? Okay, He knows I was going to fall there. Why didn't He drag me back? That's that kind of word. Some people are asking for that. They call them the determinists. They say God has predetermined. Not predetermined. He has determined what will happen. He knows I'm going to hell. So there is. Why are you preaching to me? I've heard that before. That okay, God knows all things. We say yes. Okay, so He knows I'm going to. So he knows I'm going to hell. So upon what will he now judge me that I didn't? Because he already know I'm going. Or maybe some of us are saying, why did God not stop the devil from deceiving Eve? How many of us have tried to ask those questions before? That is this world. If God has created this kind of world, where whatever only he wants happen is what happens. Or the last one, a world where God allows us to choose what happens. And that is the kind of world he created for us. And this is the only kind of world where love is possible. Where love is possible. Love is not possible if you open the door, I'll come. If you don't open the door, I go back. Why are you allowing people to go to hellfire? Why can't you stop them? It's their choice. And that is done out of love. I lay before you life and death. Choose. My word is before you. You know, look at that Jeremiah 6:16 that we read. He said that do this so that you will have rest for your soul. He said, but who will not do it? And he left them. God doesn't force anything on anybody. That is the reason he didn't force Eve to take. He has told them, do this, but you are free to choose the commandment. He will not force his commandment on you. No, he will not force his commandment on you. That will not be the kind of what he is trying to create for us. Amen. I said something, the symptom of faith. Fear is a symptom of faithlessness. Now, the Bible says in the book of Romans chapter 12 verse 3, it said, every believer has a measure of faith. So there is nobody, if you are a believer, you were given, instead of reasonable sin, God has measured out the portion of faith to each one of you. That is common English Bible. It said, God has dealt to everyone according to a measure of faith. So everybody has a measure of faith if you are a believer. Now look at this experience in the book of Mark chapter 4 verse 18. When we know the story of believers, when there was storm and Jesus was sleeping, but he was in the stand asleep on a pillow. And if you look at verse 15, okay, look at verse 14. It said, inasmuch then as the children have partaken of flesh and blood, he himself destroy him who has the power of death. That is, who? Say it now, it's in your Bible. That is the devil. So if you are hearing that in the Old Testament God is killing, and Jesus has come to destroy him that has the power, and go and worship the devil. When in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, when shown who is doing evil, Jesus showed it clearly to destroy him that has the power of death. So all the fear is all coming from the pit of fear of death. God won't give you fear of death for what? So fear not and practicalize loving others, because he said perfect love cast out fear. Practicalize it. I have this okay, you can try to send it across. You can use it as your own personal you see, sometimes we just gloss over the word love. But I use this to check myself in the area of love. From the first book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we know it. But I've gone extra length to bring out each thing that there's no need to rush it. So, am I in love? Because the word of God says that he that feareth is not made perfect in love. It means the love of God is missing. So it's the love of brethren is missing. He said, he that hateth his brother abideth in death. And death and fear, they are synonymous. You be in love. It's okay to say I love God, but this one is love for the brethren. And God said, if you cannot love your brethren, how can you say you love me, God? So you write this out down yourself. Long suffering with kindness. Judge yourself on that one towards your neighbor. Do I have long suffering? And when you are in that long suffering, you are still kind. Somebody is always eating your leg, and long suffering with kindness. That's 1 out of 14. Not envious. Maybe you want to give me an example of that. A practical example of not. This is not about you and God. It's about you and your neighbor. Give me an example. Not being envious. You see, because I want to be out of love. This one is a perfect love cast out fear. And these are some of the things he has listed to show that you are in love. There are 14 of them. Give an example. Not being envious of another person. The man will do like this in front of the car is parked there. When any child comes around the car, the child is not doing anything, maybe just lean on it. They say, my son, come. And the son will climb, because this the house staircase by the side. Climb and go and meet him, and will hold him. So the thing will pick from that car, hit me. We know that man. I'm talking about. This man is from my village, so he knows what I'm talking about. That soon, the color is like this. When he's driving around town, it's like 20 kilometers per hour. Your cruise. You don't come near that car. You don't come near it. Now I smoke car, people won't rest around your house again. There are some people you can't carry because they have body odor. You can't carry them with you. Love does not behave rudely. Don't rush to say, I love my neighbor. Check yourself with this. Check yourself. Does not think of himself alone. You are a boss. It has to be you and you and you alone. You don't think about that person being part of what. So when you have later, you just mark it. I need work in this area. Because nobody can do it more than yourself. Love is not easily provoked. It doesn't get angry anyhow. That's love. If you always get angry anyhow, you are missing something. Something is missing in your life. And that, because perfect love casts out fear, it means that you are rather abhorring it when you are not living in love. Does not mean that they won't provoke you, but it's not easily provoked. Thinks no evil. Hey. Thinks no evil. I know that lady. I know the way he's doing. It's just the way that guy is doing. You don't know the person. Just the way the person, your mind is already thinking something. He thinks no evil. Doesn't rejoice at injustice, but rejoice in the truth. What can you give yourself out of 10? Between 1 to 10, rate yourself. These are practical ways to apply God's word. It's not to rush over them. Don't quickly throw stone at anybody. You first of all, calculate yourself. Love is patience. Love believes all things. Some people don't believe anything at all. Maybe believing all things may be too big, but some people don't believe anything at all. No, I can't trust any, I can't trust anybody. No, all men are bad, all women are bad. All these marriages, all these people, they are just deceiving us. There is, thinks no evil. My marriage is nice. Oh, you don't deceive us. You just deceiving us. There is no marriage that is nice. It thinks quickly of the negative side. It thinks quickly of the negative side. And hopes on fear of accidents. Some people can't sleep in the bus when the bus is traveling. They feel sleepy. I don't trust this driver. It is a blind break. Some people go and sleep at certain part of the bus in anticipation of if it will have accidents. Some people can sleep in front of a car in case it will have accidents. The front is free. They said, no, I'll sleep at the back. I'll sit in the middle in case they hit the car at the back. Fear of accidents, fear of rejection, fear of poverty. Will I ever make it financially in life? Fear of sickness. Maybe in the family there is this, there is that, and then there's fear of unanswered prayer. Will God even answer me if I pray? Fear of retrenchment. We said it. Fear of natural calamity. Those of you who are staying around Wager, is a quit living in fear. Quit living in fear. And I have this to do. And I think you should take note of this. Because it's supposed to be a practical thing. I mean to do after you have left here. The area you have challenge with fear. Before you rush into prayer, go and look for minimum 2 scriptures. For instance, you can look at this thing. Like somebody is always having fear of them. 2 scriptures. Because, like we said, the word of God is what enables us to live. So God has every of this area covered. And much more. People have even said things today that are not here. God has everything covered. Look for minimum 2 scriptures. Why did I say 2 scriptures? Out of 2 or 3 witnesses, the truth. God has them plenty. Use the other half to locate what has He said in this area. And settle down to be saying it without doubt in your heart. Without what? I end with this story of the 3 Hebrew children, which we know very well. We know it very well. And, you know, we always make some mistake in that place that we think they said that Daniel 3, 15, 16, 17. We always think that what they were saying is that if our God deliver us, fine. If He doesn't deliver us, that's a statement of doubt. When that comes in, God doesn't deliver. He doesn't compromise His word. That's not what He said. Daniel 3, 15. So verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If that is the case, if what you have said is the case, so you need to go back and look at what is that. If that is the case, our God will deliver us. That is, I will throw you into the fiery furnace if you don't bow. So if what you have said is the case, if you throw us, our God will deliver us. Am I? If that is the case, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and no doubt He will deliver us. They are not trying to say if God delivers, God doesn't deliver. Now look at the next. Okay, but if not, meaning if what you said is no longer the case, that is, if you don't throw us in the fire, we will still not serve. If what you say you throw us, God will deliver, and He will deliver. It's not that He may deliver. We know too sure He will deliver. But if you change your mind, you don't throw us, we will still not serve. That's what God demands angry. That even if I leave them, they will still not serve. That's no need. Hit the thing sometimes. Why it cannot be what we were saying, that if our God did not deliver us, we will not serve. Because if our God does not deliver, they won't even be around to serve. They will have been roasted same second. Because the people that were taking them inside didn't even get inside before they were roasted. They won't be around to say, we will not. That statement will no longer apply. That if our God does not deliver us, we will not serve you. It doesn't apply here, because if our God does not deliver us, we will be dead. We will be dead. So there is no need to say we will not serve. That statement does not apply. Is it clear? Because you can't doubt. The room for doubt is not allowed. You can't be doubting, my God can deliver me if He doesn't deliver me to that fear. And in case He shows up on the way, you don't have the scripture to use for now. Get home, settle down. Thank God for Google. You can now Google, okay, what did God say on this fear? Study it and start saying it. You don't have to say it for long. Rabbi said he said it, so he was not saying it, he lost count. So he said it for about 2 months. I think to get 2 miles of land, you need to talk some. You need to. For God to give you free land that has river inside, you need to talk small. So this one is not talking of 1 or 2 days. The answer is quick. This one to give you land that has been abandoned for 60 years. I need to be sure of what you are saying. And he talked it for 2 months.
Okay, you are aware of it. Before the incident, it happened in February. Before the incident, latter part of December to the January, I was having that fear of accidents. I was driving then, but that fear of accident, I didn't know if it would be me who caused that accident, but there was accident, and it was so, the thing is like knocking at your door that want to enter. So I just took my mind off it, and lo and behold, it happened. A truck driver hit me behind, and just as it happened, that fear of accident vanished. Up to date, I don't understand. Is it from God that, okay, this thing, he made me to know that something like this would happen and you will be rescued out of it. Or it's from the devil that, hey, I said this, I said, yeah, accident. Yes, accident has happened. Up to date, I don't understand. So I try, and if anything negative comes within me, and then shut my mind over it. But for that incident, I don't know. Up to now, I still need an answer to it.
First, convince yourself that evil doesn't come from God. God is absolute. Now, I will use the book of Job to answer that. Job had everything going on fine with him. Until today, many of us still think that whatever happened to Job was caused by God. Error. Scripturally speaking, no. Job was a man that loved God. Everything was fine. But he was always in fear. Like in that case. He was always in fear. Maybe my children, anytime the children goes to party, maybe they have cursed God. He will quickly go and organize some sacrifice offering to appease God, in quotes. But those fear, anytime you are in that fear, what it does is it removes. I told you that fear removes your whatever faith you have, it removes it and exposes you to the devil. It exposes you. It breaks down the barrier of protection. It's like an invitation. Devil, they said that devil sent fear because he's spirit. Send it first. Go and first of all arrest first. When you have arrested, I will step in. And the moment Job opened up like that, everything he was afraid of came to pass speedily. Job 3:25. Job himself confessed. He said, the thing I am afraid of has come. Finally. And please, it is not God who, he said it's God that did it. No. God did not do it. You are looking at me straight. Hand is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth your hand. So Satan went from the presence of the Lord. Behold, all that he had is in your power. When you open up to fear, you have handed over yourself to the devil. Cheap. Very cheap. God, devil came, he said, do it. He said, I can't do it. It's already in your hand. He had exposed himself. In fact, God had mercy. He said, don't kill him. He will have finished him. He went quick. When he heard that, you see, devil is not omnipotent. He's not omniscient. He doesn't know all things. He didn't even know that the man's edge has been broken. So don't give devil power that he doesn't have. God said, behold, it's in your hand. Somebody said, why did God say that? Shouldn't have God kept the truth? No, he won't tell that because of you. He won't tell that because of you. He has opened himself, it's in your hand. By doing what he's not supposed to do. Fear not, it's a command. Don't do it. If you do it, you expose yourself. And the moment the exposure comes, then the devil knew that, you see, that has opened up the devil. Okay, so hit him at the back. It took the protection away. What you should have done when those things were coming, you should know this is not from God. Number one. And then, of course, if you have been reading scripture, that's not the time you park your car and start looking for scripture. You see, that's why you must be reading before time. On that spot, scripture will just be coming from left and right. He that keepeth Israel will never sleep nor slumber. He will guide my going out and my coming back. You are not saying that driving. The devil will, the edges will remain intact.
So one of the people when you are teaching, I've told you several times, I hear other things as well. And they started introduce your wife as lovable. And I turned and teased her and told her that this is how it starts. And then I wrote, "Were women created to be lovable?" That's what I wrote. And I told her that before you're finished, I'm going to tell her the things that God has told me concerning just that what you said. And I think it's something because I didn't even.
I didn't know that when last time I came out.
When you introducing her. Okay. Now, it suddenly dawned on me when you started going on to the characteristics of love, that perfect love, right? Casts out fear. That Adam and Eve lost two major characteristics of God. They lost faith. That's why they started fearing God, which is the nature of the devil. Are you understanding? Then, all the characteristics of love also disappeared. Adam started blaming his wife. He wouldn't take responsibility. Pride showed. He was now accusing God as being responsible. They started seeing things negative. The same nakedness was now something they wanted to come. You see, if you look at it, you see the characteristics. So, all of a sudden, it's like, in the context of marriage, they lost love, the nature of God, and then lost the fifth dimension of God as well. So, wickedness and other things came in. And so, where is it coming from, that God? Then you said measure of faith. So when you become born again, God restores the measure of faith that was lost. And then He also restores a love that can grow, because the love of God has been shed abroad in our hearts. And then all these scriptures start to flow in. That means that if you're having challenges in your life, you're married, you can use the same technique to show to meditate yourself. Your wife is lovable.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, sorry. I actually said the same thing you said just now to somebody in the church just about 2 weeks ago, where a similar question was asked. The truth about this is that when you can't sustain anything in fear, you lose anything that comes in the realm of fear. The realm of fear is the realm of the devil. Now, so anything that falls into that realm is under his authority. And the funny thing was that the devil was able to kill the children of Job. I call it one of the greatest tragedy in the Bible. For nothing. In fact, they died and God restored them, replaced them with another soul. In fact, the Bible did not mention them as if they were human beings. They were mentioned as if they were just items that were lost. But they were souls. They were human beings, full soul, body, spirit, lost because of fear. Now, and that is the problem we have these days, because a lot of the time we actually praying out of fear than out of faith. And when you pray out of fear, you can't get a result. The only thing that brings answer to prayer is faith. So that's a major point. The truth about it is that whatever thing, fear attracts evil. Fear actually attracts, just like faith attracts good. That is how fear attracts evil. So fear attracts the demons. So when you have fear, you don't need to pray that demons should come around. You can't have death around you and be praying against bacteria. They just come. They just come. So if you have fear around you, you will always, and fear torment, and it does really torment and denies a lot of things. So one of the reasons why I think is because you have fear. The devil was trying to come in, and the devil found a way to create an environment that automatically activates evil occurrence. Thank you.
Wow. A week today, I'm an evangelist in my church. I lead the team that we prepare people for baptism. So, in that preparation, then I got to know something that before even I came here telling me about the word, I got to know that I had to stand on the word to pray. And I was just always praying. I needed something for the past 3 months. I have been praying about it, I was not getting it. So just a week today, as I was teaching them, it came across. And I said, okay, then let's pick the word. Because I've prayed about it, it's not happening. So when I went to, that was Saturday. So Sunday morning, God just reminded me of his word. That even if our parents, who are humans, will not give us stone when they ask for bread, they will not give us snakes when they ask for fish, how much more he who created and loved us so much. So I stood upon that word and I prayed on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. And I called a friend for that help. And immediately, nothing happened. Monday morning, I had help. Something I prayed for 3 months. Monday morning, I didn't have it. When I took the word, I stood up and fear. And I got to know that I had fear and doubt. So immediately I applied it, just happened just like that. So just a confirmation of what happened is what we are talking here. It is practical, it happened to me. Amen.
And the thing is that it happens very fast. When you apply the word, it happens very fast. One of the sisters, Sister Emma, who came home from Sunday service one day. She couldn't come to church that day. So my wife called. The way she was talking, you could see that she's been down for about 2 days. I words. I read that a lot from Kenneth Hagin. He said, 8 out of 10 people that will come, people just even pray. Somebody even come yesterday, you should know. Because if I start talking, the time would go. So, as a man of God, you should know the problem. I say I cannot go until you tell me what to pray for. So, and I thought that I will pray for you. Do look for a scripture. That was around 3 p.m. Around 3 p.m. that same Sunday. By 6:30, wanted to call to find out how she's doing. She has been healed between 3 and 4. I said, okay, in case you don't have immediate scripture, just use this scripture. By stripe I'm healed. And that one is very quick and fast and common. She started saying it and she jumped up and went to cook. Immediately. By 6, the voice that, if you didn't hear her before, you would think nothing was wrong. The voice was strong. Like, I said, so immediately, she jumped up and started going to the kitchen to cook. Immediately. It works immediately.
So, that was last year. I was about to launch my second book. And previously, for all of my books I published, I did the launch in different towns, even in Accra, in several places. At this time around, I suggested I was going to launch it in my hometown where I was born, because such a thing has never happened before. Now, even before the flyer was designed and even posted online, I don't know how the devil is, but I understood what he did. They were able to peep through the spirit and know that something of the sort was going to happen. So, my mom had a dream that during the course of my invitation process, I had a terrible accident that every part of my body was bandaged and sent to the hospital. And so I couldn't get I was paralyzed in the dream. So when she woke up, she called and told me about the dream. And then I told her not to even pray about it, because I was so filled with fear about what I was going to do that I didn't have to even pray about it. So then the day or few weeks to the program, I went home, my hometown, and whilst I was about to start my invitation, I took a motorbike. And in the dream, it was when I was in the motorbike that I had the accident. But when I saw the motorbike and I was about to take it, then it came. I know the one that said, you're going to die or maybe have accident on the motorbike. Now, to the glory of God, I can say that period between when that thought came and my battle against that thought didn't last for a microsecond. And immediately I went ahead, like I insulted the devil. I said that devil is bastard. So it was aggressive. Then I took it, went over, and I did my invitation. To God's glory. The program was so glorious that the place was so filled, and the people outside were more than the people inside the auditorium. And then when the district chief executive officer of the district came over and took the microphone to give a speech, he said that he has never seen such a crowd like this in the day that the NDC people were holding their congress that same day. So, well, my way of defining fear is the consequence of it. Okay, some of the times we should be able to know the thin line between fear and caution. Okay, so another example is one of my sisters. She was going to marry just last Saturday, and she called me and she told me of a dream she had. Because where I come from is a very strong spiritual thing. If you are not strong in the Lord, you might go in a second. And then she saw herself in the coffin with the husband, dressed as when they were going for the marriage, the wedding, in the coffin. They were going to die. Then I just shared my story, my testimony with her, and I told them not to worry or even pray about it. And take God by the Lord. By God's grace, last Saturday we got married. My person is a pastor. You know, some of the times God wants to speak to us, but we take it as as sister shared, fear. But I also don't see it in that way all the time, because I said earlier that I can only be able to detect fear by its consequence. Definitely it will be something negative, but when it is positive, I believe it's made assumption that God wants to draw attention to it and then prevent it. The story about Joseph, that famine that was coming, they took wisdom and then did some reservation of foodstuffs, and then they were able to overcome the famine. But the others who didn't have the wisdom or the caution to do it, it came over them. So I can only detect or determine fear by its consequences, whether it is negative or positive. So I don't know if Pastor can throw some light about the consequence and difference between caution and fear.
Yeah, so in your case,
To your way. Thank you for a resource person that you aid to deliver your oracles to us. I believe that everyone here, no matter the age, has picked some of the key that everybody has had. So Father, that's what we want to thank you. Bless you. I say, Lord, let this good work continue. Let more people be part of this as we continue. The areas that are not being met elsewhere, we can put that sense of God. We will manifest your glory in greater. I want to thank everybody who has been here, Lord, and then also say that